everyone, and welcome to the official home tour. So as the tradition lies, I'm moving out in a month, which is when I always film my home tours because that's when I feel the house is as close to being finished as it can be. So I'll be showing you my house, which has 3 floors, and I moved from Shoreditch here to the suburbs of London, which is basically Surrey, and yeah, that's it. So let's start the tour. So welcome home, please come in. So the first thing that we have here obviously is the hallway, which is just not a very interesting place because it is a rental, so we couldn't really do as much as we wanted to. We started doing this wall, which was meant to be finished with like a mirror and like stuff was meant to be happening here, which it's just obviously not happening because we're moving out. And then onto the living room, obviously storage for jackets and everything. I've seen everyone does that. Then in the living room, which is probably one of my favorite rooms because we just put a lot of work into it, repainted it like 5-10 times, stopped counting at this point. But just to show you around from them with basic things, maybe on this side, the sideboard, which we had in Shoreditch, so it's not a new purchase, but we just did this half circle, obviously stolen from Pinterest, but I was just very, very proud of the fact that we managed to paint it, and it's actually quite even. So this is just a little setup that's going on here. We just store documents. It's not very practical at all, but it looks nice. Then on this side, basically the wall was totally like plain, and we thought it was just a bit of an inconvenient space because of those like lamps, so we custom built those. We did it all ourselves. I don't know how we did that, but it was basically cheaper than buying a piece of furniture that would fit into here. So it just serves as like this area for random things that I've collected over the years because I have a problem. Here it's a TV that I hate. If I had a choice it wouldn't be here, but it is here. Then this thing is also not very pretty, but I mean look at it. It's cozy on nights, it's cozy in the winter. It actually doesn't heat. It should, but it doesn't. Here again, the same thing that's happening on the other side. It doesn't serve any like bigger purpose, but just looks pretty and fills the space. Still, the disco ball that I've had for years, somehow it's still in one piece. This chair that you've probably seen me DIY in one of my wines with Dominique. It actually is quite great, and I'm probably thinking of doing the same thing with another one if I have space in my new place. Moving on, more plants, more books. This is a cool thing, which is actually a Facebook Marketplace find, and it's to store all my records. Yeah, and a random thing, what is that? That's a torch. Who knows why it's there? But it's a really cool thing. We got it for like £20, so that's a really great find. My guitars, yes. And then here we just have all the posters that we had in Shoreditch, so that's nothing new. The sofa, same one that's been in Shoreditch. It actually was meant to go, but it stayed because we were broke at one point and just couldn't afford a new one. Same goes for that coffee table, which I absolutely hate. Like, I cannot even tell you how much I hate it, but it stayed because it was just too expensive to buy a new one. Brittany also has her bed here because, I mean, she just needs to be close to me at all times. And here I have my white base, which was my dream, and I got it for my birthday in October, and I still can't actually play anything on it, but it looks nice, and sometimes when I'm bored, when it happens, I have something nice to do in my free time. Moving on to the dining room, which we don't actually use as a dining room. It's just a really, really nice room to sit in when it's like nice outside because you can open the doors. The doors are my favorite thing. Just so good. They want to change them for plastic ones, but by the time that happens, we're going to move out, so that's not my problem anymore. This room basically is for the plants. I keep all my plant babies here because I just have this space. This table came from Shoreditch. We didn't actually buy anything new. Same for the chairs. This was with us in Shoreditch, so as you see, like we actually didn't buy anything new for this place. we actually put in the fridge there, which just is for drinks and alcohol, because I mean, as a grown-up, I chose to have a separate fridge for that. And yeah, it's just a really nice room, one of my favorite, even though I don't really spend much time here. And then if you want to see the outside, we did a lot of work to the garden. We had to buy all the furniture. There's Brittany. So basically when we got the place, the garden was a disaster. There was no grass, there was just like bin bags, empty vodka bottles, beer cans. It was a mess, so we just had to clean everything up. It's not perfect, and in the back we didn't have time to do anything because, well, it takes a lot of time, and then it was winter. But yeah, the grass is our own work, not perfect yet, but I'm still very proud of it because it was such a mess. And it looks so lovely right now. We had a lot of fairy lights, and this palm tree, it's apparently like 20-30 years old, and I love it. It's absolutely my favorite thing. And the neighbors have a palm tree, so it's basically like we're in southwest London, but it feels like you're in Spain or somewhere nicer actually. And then basically this is a funny thing which I really liked about this place. I basically have the dining room here, you have the garden here, and then you have this weird utility room which is super convenient. The only bad thing about it is that it's very like DIY, so it leaks often when there are like storms. Yeah, it's just unfinished, so we have a lot of spiders and spider webs in there, but it is very convenient. So basically we have a freezer, we have I think that's a dryer. I don't know, I don't use that because I'm very eco-friendly and I dry my clothes naturally. So it's basically a nice space to kind of store stuff and do laundry, so it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, just the biggest, negative part of it is that it's like, there's a spider web and a dead, like, something. So this is the sort of stuff I would love to clean, but I just lost patience for it because I just don't have the time to do it daily. And then basically the funny connection. Super convenient when you're having people over. Here's the kitchen. The kitchen isn't very interesting because again, the landlord did a very DIY job on it, so it is a bit random and some things just don't make a lot of sense. But we just tried to make it as homey as we could. But there's nothing really interesting to say about it. It's just the kitchen. Maybe the interesting thing is we have this fridge and everyone that comes over is just like, what is this? Which we also asked the same question, like, what is this? But apparently the previous tenants, like, they broke it, so now it's just a bit of a hanging thing and we're just, living with it and not asking too many questions. And yeah, now we can move on to the first floor. And then on the first floor we have a small bathroom. I mean, it is meant to be the main one, but we don't really use it because it hasn't been touched or, fixed up since who knows how long. So the shower, it's like, I'm not even going to show you inside. We've never used it. It's absolutely horrendous. And we just have this bathtub, which apparently is an original Victorian bathtub. So we have no idea how to clean it because it's just super old and we're scared to destroy it. But it's nice from time to time. But this is just the bathroom that we use when we need to pee. And there's Brittany's toilet. So yeah, that's it. Nothing. It could be nice if someone actually put some work into it, but we're not going to do it because, well, our landlord is a bit ungrateful. So Then the next room, which used to be Cuba's office, workspace, study, whatever you want to call it, but now that he's gone, I use it as my workspace. So it's not pretty. It's full of boxes. It's full of stuff. It was green because that's the color we chose for him, but literally there's nothing much to talk about. This is where I basically pack all of my orders and do all my kind of work stuff. That's why I have a very big desk and a lot of packaging materials because I just need to do that for packing. And then in those wardrobes I just keep my stock from Depop. So that's not very interesting at all. Just a workspace. It's basically like half of a warehouse in the house, so convenient. So moving on to the next room, which was my original workspace and is still my original workspace, where I keep a lot of my stuff. So I again keep some of the Depop stock. This is all Depop stock. Those were built in when we arrived. We also have those on the top with tiny sequins, which I thought about removing, but then I was like, I don't think I'm staying here long enough to actually bother with changing those things. Just more rails, more Depop stock. It's all of that. Like, I have a lot of stuff that I'm selling right now. This was the rail that I used when I used to shoot a lot of stuff, so it was just convenient because on this side we have my studio, if you want to call that a studio, but it was just my backdrop for everything, so that was just my workspace. And then on this side it's just my desk where I did some work. I also have a sewing machine here which I hide from the dust, but yeah, it's here. And then in this thing I just have the printer and just some random things that I just don't want inside, but it's just basically a workspace, so it's not very pretty because I just work here and I don't really spend much time, and a lot of clothes and stuff just goes through this room, so I don't put much thought into it. And then next room, my favorite room, my second favorite, it's the walk-in wardrobe. So this is it, and the funny thing about this room is everyone in those houses has this room, but because we were the only, like, the single childless people on the street, we're the only ones that have this room converted into a walk-in wardrobe and not a kid's room, so that's great if you want to come in. So basically those wardrobes are the IKEA ones. They weren't really cheap, but they're very convenient because they're easy to take down and you don't have to attach them to the wall, so they're a great solution for rentals. And basically this used to be my side, but then Cuba moved out and I took also his side for all of my stuff. There's going to be a separate video about what's going on here quite soon, and then I also keep more Depop stock here because I don't have space in this house, even though I have 3 floors. But yeah, let's go to the top floor. So the top floor is an extension that not all of the houses on the street have, so we're actually really lucky to have it because it's just nice, and it's kind of like it gives us separate space when, like, we have my parents staying over. We just upstairs and we have our own bathroom, so you can just... Here, this is a poster that fell down and I still didn't actually hang it up. It's been like half a year now, but those are still holding up, so you know, we did a good job with those, just not this one. So yeah, those stairs get really exhausting, like, trust me. But this is the second bathroom, which is the one I actually use because even though it's ugly, it actually has the amenities that are a bit more modern and thus a bit more functional for day-to-day use. But there's nothing really to show here because it is really ugly. We thought about buying those, like, stick-on things that look kind of like tiles, but to do the whole bathroom it would cost much more than actually retiling it, so we left that. And then the bedroom, which I also really love. It's huge. I mean, for me it's huge because it's just a lot of space for 1 or 2 people actually. This is a corner that I don't actually use. I only use the yoga mat. The yoga mat is always unrolled, so that it reminds me that I need to work out. And then behind here, this is actually, like, we created the storage space for boxes and just like random things that you just want to store. So it was very convenient kind of to do that because anyways this kind of like slant is it's just not very practical for anything, so why not cover it up? Then I keep more Depop stock here. And then on this wall we have this kind of solution to cover the aircon unit, which is just quite ugly, but I'll cover it for you. I mean, you can see how yellow it is. It wasn't yellow originally. I think it's about 20 years old, and it kind of smells when you use it, but it's still a lifesaver in the summer because obviously this is the attic, so it's really hot in here, even during the night, so that's why it's good to have it. And how many people can say that they have aircon in London, so that's a good thing. Then moving on to this side, we have the lamp that all of you know very well. It's like your favorite lamp ever. The lampshade is from Etsy, then this bottom is from IKEA. It was quite cheap. The lampshade wasn't, but this was. Then the bed stayed the same. It's not really well made because I don't know how people make their beds so that they look as if they're like hotel beds. I don't know how people do that, but this is my bed, as people say, where the magic happens, even though it doesn't happen. And then this thing from Maid. I got it on sale because I wouldn't actually pay the full price, but I always wanted one of those because they're very like grown up and there's just something cool about them. But we just store like bed linen in it and Brittany sleeps on it. Then on this wall, this is also one of the first like arches I painted. It's not perfect because I was meant to like finish it up and we were meant to do another one and just kind of do like this kind of gradual thing. But again, we knew that we would be moving out quite early on, so that's why there's just one. But it was meant to be finished. And then this is a palm tree that I thought was dead. And it's somehow alive now. So, I mean, surprise, surprise. On this side, this is a plant that I always talk about because it grows like weeds. And, I mean, it's just great because it grows fast and it's green. Those lamps are also from Zara Home, same as the bed linens. I mean, I wouldn't usually buy from Zara, but, like, the quality is actually really good. Those things are actually, I'm not a big fan of them, but I got them because I was just like, I need a bedside table, and they were decently priced, I guess, and were a bit similar to what I actually really wanted. Oh, and then we have those. If you can see, they're the wrong way around. Because I was repainting this wall and I asked Cuba to basically take it down and then he put it back up this way, and then I was like, I just don't have the energy at the moment to change that. So that's the look that we're going for today. Oh, and the thing about that bed frame, it's actually also IKEA, but we repainted it with like, it's just like a rose gold color from a can, because we wanted to do basically like a dupe of the Maid bed, which was like £500, and this bed frame was just like 100, so it's a good deal. And then like £20 for the spray cans, so me being smart. And then on this side we have the mirror that I wanted for ages. Everyone has that mirror. It's also from Maid. I love Maid. I could basically have everything from Maid. It was quite pricey, but it's so worth it. And I just had to wait like 3 months for it to get here, but I'll cherish it forever. I just love furniture and stuff. So, oh, and more things from Depop. Okay guys, so this was my whole house. Very sorry that it's not really like finished. I mean, it probably looks finished to you, but it doesn't look finished to me because so many things were meant to be changed, including those actually ceiling lamps. I actually bought new ceiling lamps and never changed them because I was like, what's the point now? But yeah, if you have any questions, then let me know in the comments, because I feel I went through it just very, very fast because I don't want to bore people with just like very small random details. So just ask me if you're interested in something, and I hope you've enjoyed this, and I'll see you soon. I know something, but I don't, so please don't judge me.
I'm gonna pick that up.